Hello and welcome back to another one of Paul's Beer Reviews. Hope you're doing well. I've got an Imperial Stout to review, and I think this, off the top of my head, this is probably going to be the biggest beer I've reviewed on the channel so far in terms of ABV. I'm drunk and I haven't even touched it yet. It's from Wander Beyond Brewing, and it is a can of their Vulpes, or Vulpes, which Latin translates to True Fox. Hence the big fox on the front of the can and some strange little bug things trying to get themselves comfortable on him. But yes, this is the Vulpes Imperial Stout, 15% ABV in a 440ml can. It contains water, malted barley, oats, malted rye, Azaka hops and yeast. And yeah, so Wander Beyond from Manchester. I think this is the first beer I've reviewed from these guys as well. This beer was kindly sent to me. Just look at the artwork again. That's lovely. The fox is chilling. I mean, I've got no idea what these little things are meant to be, but they're busy making themselves comfortable, and the fox on the front. This beer was kindly sent to me by a subscriber of mine, Simon, down in Bristol, who sends me beers every now and then. Thank you again, Simon, for these, mate. I've really enjoyed them, particularly the Arbor ones. Top man. Yeah, let's get this Imperial Stout out. 15% stout. God, it's full to the brim. Blimey. I can't wait to get out that one. Oof. Wow. Look at the colour of that. There's almost a slight redness. Goodness me. There's a very subtle, almost red, sort of purple hue developing on the head of this one. God, that's thick. The drips that are coming out are like oil. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. God, blimey. This is going to be insane. There's the beer. Holding it up to the light. I'm not getting anything coming through that. There's no red bleeding through the bottom of the glass. That is a extremely dark stout with a very, very dark brown head on it, which is pretty much shrunk right down now to, you know, a nail's width, and it's dissipating all the time. It's now spreading in the middle of the glass now. For a 15% beer, you're not expecting a head really, but I mean that just looks just complete black. Let's stick my snout in, see what the aroma's telling us. Ooh. Like proper dark chocolate. Dark chocolate, a little bit of cherry. Cherries and dark chocolate reminds me of what they call it, Old Jamaica Cadbury's sort of Bourneville with dark fruit in it. Dark chocolate, bit of cherry, raisin is coming through. There's a dark fruit influence there. Really proper roasted coffee malts coming through as well. It just smells rich. It's like a bit of vanilla as well coming through. It smells very nice. It's hanging around as well. Yeah, mainly dark chocolate, a bit of coffee, some dark fruits. It smells pretty good. Let's get stuck in, shall we? Cheers. Wow. Oh, God, that finish. That finish. Goodness me. That just goes on and on. I still feel like it's developing. That's still developing. It hasn't stopped. It's still like the flavour's still changing on my palate. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. Let's have a sip. Let's have a sip. So the first thing I notice is the body. The oats in that brew have made it slightly creamy. It's full-bodied. It really coats the palate. The dark fruit, that sort of cherry, raisins, seems to be coming through. Dark chocolate, really rich dark chocolate. You know, like what's the name of that company who do the really high percentage cocoa chocolate? I've forgotten their name now. Like 90%, you know, cocoa chocolate. That's really rich, really dark chocolate. It's really warming, as you'd expect from a 15% brew. There's milky coffee, really strong dark chocolate. To say it's boozy as hell. It really reminds me of Old Jamaica. Slightly boozy, dark chocolate. Very creamy on the body and the palate. It's quite gentle, but the heat, I feel like I can get warm on my brow from drinking this one. But I will say, it's delicious. This is a bit of a treat. A bit of a treat. Every now and then I like to have an Imperial Stout, just to kind of test my palate. Something a bit different. Something that really... The finish on this beer is so long. I feel like I'm getting on top of it and I'm getting to grips with what it's doing. And then just as you sort of go to take another swig, you feel like there's something else developing on the back of the palate. It's really boozy. It's really warm. It's the whole throat, my chest is really warm. This is the sort of thing I should have drunk during the cold snap where we had sort of January, February time. To be drinking it. It's been quite warm today. Probably wasn't the best idea. But the flavours are worth it. Like I say. Really full-bodied, really creamy. There's that dark fruit. Sort of sultanas, raisins, a little bit of fig, cherry, sweetness of the cherries that I had on the aroma. There's that sort of dark chocolate, rich, dark, boozy chocolate. And as it dies down, you then get in milky coffee and the roasted malts start to come through. And normally you pick them up kind of mid-palate, but it's very upfront, this stout. It's very upfront, but it lingers and develops. It develops as it fades. So normally you get your flavours, you get your three elements. You might get a bit of fruit, a bit of the malt character, and a bit of like a hoppy finish. With this, as you're getting that finish, as you're getting that bitterness, more flavours are coming through, and it's still developing. I mean, even now, I've got like a lovely combination of all of those elements now. I've got that sort of dark chocolate. I've got that milky coffee. I've got that sweetness from the cherries and the dark fruit. I've got the warmth from the 15%. It's very nice. It's very nice. And I said, I can't remember the last time I had a Wander Beyond brew. But this, I think, is reminding me, maybe it's a brewery I need to revisit. Manchester have got a cracking craft brew scene at the moment. They're one of those cities that I really need to get to and visit a few tap rooms. Like I say, if Wander Beyond are brewing stuff like this on a regular basis, look what it's doing to the glass. It's all kind of sticking to the glass. This is like a meal. Oh, wow. That booze hits you as well. As soon as you take your mouthful. Bosh, big boozy hit. I feel like the dark fruit's coming a bit more prominent now. The cherry, the dark fruits, the sweetness to it. Starting to become more prominent the more mouthfuls I have. Combines very nicely with the oats in the brew. That mouthfeel is very full, really coats the palate. And the sweetness of that dark fruit is coming through, along with that dark chocolate. Like I say, as it fades, it then turns into a milky coffee kind of brew. A little bit of bitterness from the hops. It's really good. It's really, really good. I'm going to savour the rest of this one. I'm going to let it warm up a little bit and see how much more it develops. I've had it out of the fridge for about half an hour or so. I think I'm just going to keep it out a little bit longer and just savour the rest of this. There's a hell of a lot going on with this beer, and I kind of get the feeling there's going to be a hell of a lot more I'm going to uncover as it warms and I drink the rest of it. It's a stunning beer. It really is a stunning beer. Again, thank you to Simon for sending this one my way. I have actually seen this beer in my local beer shop on London Road in St Albans. If you fancy a big 15% Imperial Stout, try that one. Vulpes from Wander Beyond, 15% ABV Imperial Stouts. That's a hell of an experience. Very, very rich, very rewarding, very warming. Like I say, I feel like I need the fan on my head now. But that's a hell of a stout. That's a cracking stout. I love that body. I love the texture to it. It's lovely. Boozy as hell. Cracking stuff. It's not the most drinkable in the world. I will say that. The complexity to it, the flavours to it are stunning. It's not the sort of thing that I would drink very often. It's perhaps like a bit too boozy for my liking. Yeah, Imperial Stouts aren't always my go-to style. If it had been barrel aged, maybe add a bit of oakiness, slightly a bit more, maybe slightly more calm flavour to it. It's very rich, this one. Could have done with maybe a bit of a barrel aging, bit of a sort of oaky flavour, and maybe added a bit of caramel to it or something. But it's lovely. It is very, very good. I like it enough to give it a 9 out of 10. Excuse me, this is a treat of a beer. It's a big one, and I kind of get the feeling I'm going to feel this when I've finished it. So once again, Wander Beyond, their Vulpes Imperial Stout. Check it out. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you have, and until my next one, you take care.